Hi everyone, I'm Sandrine and welcome to a new Banshee review. Banshee is back for its fourth and final season. So we're sad and excited at the same time. The first episode was called Something Out of the Bible. Let's talk about it. First, some quick thoughts. I love that the sheriff station now has bulletproof glass for its windows because God knows they need it. I enjoyed seeing Siobhan and Emmett's pictures on the walls as Hood walked into the station. The new deputy, Cruz, I have sort of my suspicions with her a little bit because it's a little bit unclear where her loyalties lie, although Brock did hint at the fact that she might be on the side of Proctor. So I'm interested to see where that character will go. And then there was a mention of the FBI possibly coming to help solve the case. And that's how I think Eliza Dushku, who will be guest starring in this season of Banshee, will get involved in the story. And now let's talk about the time jump. I mean, first of all, they found the best way to introduce it with just Brock going to this cabin and then it's like, Hood? It's been 2 years and you're like, what? Hood? What? 2 years? What? So literally my jaw is already dropping within 5 minutes of the first episode and I'm like, what is going on, Banshee? What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? And turns out a lot of things happened within those 2 years. I mean, Hood doesn't look like he really took care of himself. Not loving the look. I'm happy he cut it off by the end of the episode because I was like, yeah, I need the old Hood back. In other news, Brock is now the sheriff. Finally, he's been waiting for this forever. And to be fair, as much as I loved Hood, Brock really should have been the sheriff this whole time. Although, I will say, Hood did get things done. So, you know. In other crazy news, Proctor is mayor. But we do find out later on that the reason why he won is because he was unopposed, which I'm like, oh, not that surprising then because, you know, Proctor, doing his Proctor thing probably scared everyone out of running against him. So, he's mayor now. What? That's crazy. And Burton still is with him. Excited to see him. Although, man, I think this episode reminded me why you should never mess with him. When he went to fight those guys because they were on their territory and they were violating their agreement. And then he brings that guy at the head. I admit I didn't watch the squishing of the head. That was just terrible. And he finished off the whole thing. I'm like, isn't the guy dead already? Like, what's going on? I just can't even. In other shocking news, I know it was shock after shock after shock after shock. Rebecca, dead, gone. Honestly, I'll admit that I let out a gasp when that happened, when I saw the picture, because I expected a lot of things. I certainly didn't expect this. How, who, why, which I guess is what we're gonna try and find out this season, but wow. Did not expect that. I hope that when it does get resolved, it is somehow linked to something bigger and it wasn't just this random guy that attacked her or something. Carrie is some sort of vigilante, but Banshee style vigilante, where she kicks ass and she's still Carrie, And we find out that, she lost the kids, at least temporarily. Wonder if we'll see them this season. Maybe we'll just see them at the end of the season if she eventually gets them back, or maybe we won't see them at all. Who knows? Kurt Bunker's back! Woo! I love him. So I'm excited he's back. And then last season left him in a really bad position, which they totally skipped over that whole thing. Although we do learn that, he did get burnt. He certainly hasn't forgiven his brother. In fact, he's sleeping with his brother's wife, which I'm like, not a good idea, Kurt. Not a good idea. That cannot end well at all. I'm pretty sure this whole dynamic between him and his brother is not done yet. We're gonna see a lot more of them. His brother's people probably want to kill Kurt, and if he finds out about his wife, which he, chances are he will, how does that affect him protecting Kurt? It's Banshee. I'm guessing it's gonna go down pretty badly. And the biggest question of all, hashtag where's Jove? We still don't know what happened to him. And I think the most shocking part is it's been 2 years and they still haven't found it. I mean, at the end of last season, I was like, oh, they're totally going to go and hunt for him and it's going to be awesome. And it turns out they're not infallible. And I think that's what dragged Hood down really badly. Even though he thinks Job's dead and Dalton, the guy who they went to see, the guy who recruited Hood. He thinks Job's dead. Somehow, I feel like he's not dead. And I actually think this season will be all about finding Job and figuring out who Rebecca's killer is. Which leads to a pairing. Proctor and Hood are gonna try and figure out the case together. That's gonna be interesting. Especially now that Hood is not the sheriff anymore, so he can't just, walk away from stuff and do things that are questionable without any kind of consequences. So it'll be interesting to see how he deals with Brock. Interesting beginning of the season, and it looks like we're gonna sort of piece things together little by little as the season progresses. I'm hoping we're gonna get our signature Banshee fight scenes and craziness going on. I can't wait. Final season, I'm ready. Those are all my thoughts for the first episode of Banshee, but of course I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about this whole crazy beginning with Rebecca and 2 years past? Are you enjoying it? Are you not enjoying it? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my Banshee reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye! Another moment I really liked is when Hood and Proctor are talking at the crime scene, and then Brock arrives and he's like, you guys did see the police tape right there, right? It's a glare, right? And they're like, totally could not be bothered. Like, oh, Brock, you're just a nuisance there. Go away. I'm like, poor Brock. He's like, but I'm the sheriff, dude.